Okay, so why are design heuristics important to design? That is the topic for today. If you think about it, what is a big deal, right? What is a big deal about design heuristics and why do people say that you should follow design heuristics? To understand that, let's just look at one example of design in real world. And let's for the next 30 seconds, let's do that and then come back to this video. Okay. Okay, so what do you think? Is there anything wrong? The question is, what is not wrong, right? Setting an electronic clock with a dial is really a non-standard way of operating, and it works against the user's mental model of how other microwaves work. To make it worse, you have some controls under it, which seems to do the same thing, like set some default times like 600 seconds, 900 seconds, and things like that. And what's up with that, by the way, right? Like 600 seconds, 900 seconds are confusing. I'm assuming it is seconds because it just says 600. Um, it is confusing primarily because now the user also has to do the additional job of doing the mental math of converting this 900 into like 15 minutes, right? Which again really adds to the cognitive load. The dial's affordance to press it in, which is something that it lets you do. You can see the user do it. It gives a sense that that is really how you start the microwave. But then there is a start button right underneath it, which directly conflicts with this message conveyed to the user, which is again adding more cognitive load. User is now thoroughly confused as to which option is the right option, because for simple tasks like starting the microwave, you have two seemingly conflicting options. Neither of these options seem to work, making it worse. And then, by the way, what does this option P or what does this option KG mean, right? I mean, they are not standard terms that you would encounter in the real world, especially in the context of a microwave. After a while, you can see that the user is clearly given up and started pressing every little option there, and only to find nothing works and makes them really frustrated. And I hope you get this point. Something that should be foolproof and thought free has turned into a mental gymnastics. Just because a designer may have really wanted to be cute here and come up with something unique. This is the value of heuristics. Why is it important to stick to the fundamental principles of heuristics? Conforming to these fundamental principles and following the process of research, then design, gets the design to a good place where adjustments needed are minimal or less for the design to be functional. Because there is a lot of knowledge in the world on how common human computer interactions or human machine interactions should work. Good designers just leverage those things because that's how you make something foolproof or make them really thought free. Good design, by the way, should be thought free. You don't need to put a lot of thought into operating something that you normally operate in the world. Some of the good global design principles are like Nielsen's heuristics, and then there are other principles like Schneiderman's principles and uh, Don Norman's principles and things like that. All these principles are made with the intent that you can design a lot of those things with the fundamental knowledge of how users operate in the world and not reinventing those things, and really makes usability tests and other research steps more valuable in a way, because we don't really need to reinvent the wheel and identify and fix things we already know are broken. We could focus instead on either fine tuning some of those complex nuances in terms of how the design should operate, or even invest in solving some really innovative problems that the users are not used to solving in the real world, but like are of high value to the users. Okay, one thing I wanted to remind the designers at this point is that is the famous quote from Steve Jobs. The design is not how it looks or feels like, but it is really how it works. It becomes the duty of every designer and primary responsibility as well to uphold this. As many people really rely on many of the designs we put out there for doing their day to day jobs or doing activities that are essential for them to move their lives forward. So, with power like that comes responsibility as well, right? Taking a quote from a super hero movie. Um, Bad design by senior designers and known brands are even more dangerous. Many people try to mimic these designs and come up with designs that are similar to that. And the usability problem that you've designed and put it into the world now compounds and becomes manifold because many people that look up to you have now practiced that bad design and come up with more bad designs and add it to the clutter in the world. So if you're a senior designer or a known brand, it puts even more onus on you to design things the right way from the get go. Hope this helps. Thank you so much. Have a great day.